So welcome to Unleash Learning TV and Unleash Learning Radio for our podcast listeners. Now, we've been getting questions regarding the connections between the MTSS model and the Unleash Learning System. Either people who've worked with us, they say, this is the MTSS in action, or if they're learning about the Unleash Learning System, they're asking our thoughts about the connection, thus the reason for this episode. So in this episode, we're going to talk about the following. We're going to talk about what's the MTSS model. We're going to talk about what's the Unleash Learning System. We're going to talk about why having a system is so critical during COVID and post-COVID teaching. And finally, we're going to talk about a few links between MTSS and the Unleash Learning System. Now, first, I want to talk about a few definitions. First, what's the MTSS? Now, as you may or may not know, the MTSS is a multi-tiered system of support. Now, educators using the MTSS have a common language, a shared understanding, and a consistent way of approaching effective teaching and learning. Now, it provides a school-wide approach and a universal first layer of best instruction for everyone. Now, within the MTSS model, tiers of intervention are provided based on the additional needs of students within the model. So what's the Unleash Learning System? Now, the Unleash Learning System turns what research says makes learning stick for everyone into 6 action areas that educators and learners need to be systematically doing online or face-to-face to make learning stick for everyone. Now, it's a system that makes learning stick for everyone, and that's what's really important. Now, educators, schools, districts, and teams who use the Unleash Learning System have a common mission, and that is to make learning stick for everyone and a shared system for how to make this happen. Now, once everyone learns the system, they work together to embed that system within their work, throughout the team, or throughout the district and network. So let's talk about why having a system is so important right now. Now, one of the things COVID has taught us is that we need systems, not maps. Now, a map is great if you know where you're trying to go and you know how to get there. But when disruption occurs, like in our COVID world, systems can do something very different. A system can be taken into any environment, like a compass, and educators and school leaders can use it even if they find themselves in a location they've never been before. Now, in the case of having to jump from face-to-face to online teaching and back again, a system is something that can be used in all environments rather than having to reinvent the wheel. Also, in a world of cognitive overload where people are feeling like, please don't teach me anything else, or I can't remember anything else, a system can lower educator stress. It can keep them focused. It can help take on new information using that system. Now, a system can also help organize people's thinking and empower them in an ever-changing world. And that's what the Unleash Learning System is all about. Now, if your mission is to make learning stick for everyone, the Unleash Learning System is the system that helps you make that happen. Okay, let's talk about the connection. Now, the Unleash Learning is tier 1 of the MTS system of support. So the Unleash Learning System is tier 1. Now, it means that new teachers and current teachers and instructional leaders and administrators and learning support leaders make learning stick for everyone, make that as their focus, and they use the 6 keys in the Unleash Learning System in their teaching and learning approach, in their instructional leadership, in their program development, and in their pedagogical reflection. Now, educators who use the system are clear about what makes learning stick for everyone, and they use the system to make that happen for everyone. So let me give you a little example. One of the keys in the Unleash Learning System is the key of inclusion. Now, educators who use the system know that there's a certain kind of student engagement that makes learning stick, and their goal is to make that happen for all students in their classroom. And that's why engagement is an important key in the Unleash Learning System. And that's also why the key of inclusion is so important. Now, in the Unleash Learning System, all truly means all. Now, if you want to make learning stick for everyone, and we do mean everyone, the key of inclusion is essential. Now, inclusion means ensuring equal participation and a collective sense of belonging. Now, here's an example. An educator who uses this key knows that when asking a question, he or she wants all students to answer the question, not just one or two. They know that when all students answer a question, they're helping make learning stick for everyone. It means when students are writing and speaking and explaining and teaching, the educator knows how to create the conditions where all the students are doing it, not just a few. And they know the rituals and procedures that help make this happen. Now, it also means the educator knows that identities always matter, and he or she works to ensure there's a collective sense of belonging for students of all races and genders and languages and faiths and all backgrounds. It means when a coach or instructional leader is visiting an educator's classroom, everyone's on the same page about what makes learning stick for everyone and the system that makes this happen. Now, this allows everyone to reflect on their practice, and in this case, using the key of inclusion to see if all truly means all, and then working together to make adjustments. Now, once embedded, it provides the team or school or district a common language and a shared understanding. Now, the Unleash Learning System is not a compliance system. It looks different for each educator based on who they are, their content, and their students. It's a building system that creates innovation rather than compliance. Now, if your school or district's mission is to make learning stick for everyone, and you're using the MTSS model to make this happen for everyone, the Unleash Learning System is the tier 1 level of support. Okay, so in this episode, we spoke about a lot. So let's recap what we talked about. We talked about what's the MTSS model. We talked about what's the Unleash Learning System. We talked about why having a system is so critical during a COVID and post-COVID teaching world. And finally, a few links between MTSS and the Unleash Learning System. Now, as always, we've got a question for you. Now, there are many people working with us who are using the MTSS model. So we want to know, what connections do you see within the MTSS model and the Unleash Learning System? Now, some of the best conversations take place after the episode, so jump over there. And as always, thank you for the work you do for our world. We need you more than ever. I'll see you next time on Unleash Learning TV. I'll see you soon. If you're an educator at a school, business, or organization, knowing how to make learning stick for everyone might be the most important thing you know how to do. Make learning stick for everyone. My new book is here. To find out more, go to unleash-learning.com.